Today I have some pretty cool news from outer space. A study has recently come out of the Tokyo Institute of Technology's Department of Earth and Planetary Sciences, and these studies document the discovery of 15 exoplanets orbiting around various red dwarf stars. This research was compiled and published in 2 papers, each of them published in the Astronomical Journal. These 2 studies examined the red dwarf star K2-155, which is about 200 light-years away from Earth. And the research found that it has a planetary system including 3 super-Earths. Now, super-Earths are terrestrial planets that are similar in mass to the Earth, but generally larger and heavier. The key detail here is that they're terrestrial and not gas giants. Anyway, one of these 3 super-Earths, called K2-155d, has a radius about 1.5 to 2 times that of Earth's radius, and more excitingly, it's orbiting within its star's habitable zone. The habitable zone of this small red dwarf star is relatively close. K2-155d makes one complete orbit of its star in under 41 days. Its year is less than 41 days. That's how close it is. But because the red dwarf star is so cool and dim, its habitable zone is necessarily much closer. Now, the researchers haven't ruled out the possibility that liquid water can exist on the surface of the planet. They just know that the planet is orbiting in its habitable zone, so the potential for having liquid water exists. The researchers used 3-dimensional global climate simulations to try and get a glimpse at what the planet's surface might be like. Based on the very limited data that was available, they were able to make only broad but educated guesses. And as far as they can tell, it's within the realm of possibility that K2-155d hosts liquid water on its surface. And where there's liquid water, there might be life. Now, while this is exciting news, it doesn't mean that there definitely is liquid water on the planet. However, K2-155d is now an astronomical object of interest, and it will be analyzed in closer scrutiny in future studies. So make a note somewhere that this planet, 200 light-years away, as far as we currently know, might have water, which means that it just might be capable of hosting life. The lead researcher for the studies, Teruyuki Hirano, downplayed the Earth-like qualities of the planet, saying, quote, "In our simulations, the atmosphere and the composition of the planet were assumed to be Earth-like, and there's no guarantee that this is the case," unquote. Now this caveat is important to understand, because even if the planet is similarly sized to Earth, and even if it is in its habitable zone where liquid water could potentially exist, it might have wildly different surface characteristics that outright prohibit life. For example, maybe it has a super dense Venusian atmosphere with a boiling heat and deadly acid rain. Or it might be a total water world with a water column that's hundreds of kilometers thick, and at the bottom of this would be pressure-formed ice that totally blocks off the mineral crust. That would shut down any geochemical cycles or any mineral cycling in the ocean, and there you go, your chances for complex life are gone. However, it's important to understand that this is all speculation. Everything after the fact of it being in its habitable zone, everything after that is speculation. What we know is that it's in its habitable zone. What we don't know is what the atmosphere is like. We don't know if there really is liquid water there and if there's the potential for life. It'll take future research and future studies to elucidate the mysteries of the K2-155 system, and to determine if K2-155d really does have liquid water after all. If we can get a decently accurate spectroscopic analysis of the planet's atmosphere, we'll be able to tell if there's water vapor, or molecular nitrogen, or carbon dioxide, or something else in the atmosphere. Perhaps even something that's indicative of life, like an excess of free molecular oxygen. That would be really interesting and super exciting, but only time will tell what really exists on K2-155d.